Hello and welcome to my channel. I go by Lady Debster here on YouTube, and today I have a painting for you guys that I painted back in March, and it's currently July. The reason for this is that I was nervous and I wasn't sure if anyone wanted to see it, so I posted on my Instagram and said, hey, if I get one comment saying you want to see this, I'm going to post it. So this one's for you guys because I got 2 comments saying that they wanted to see it. So for context, this painting is based off of a painting I did back in December for my aunt and uncle, and it's currently sitting in their dining room, I believe. And it is one of the best paintings I've done in my entire life to this point. It's also 6 square feet, 2 feet by 3 feet, and it is just amazing. I love it so much. So I had to have a copy or something similar in my house. So this version's a little smaller, but I think it came out pretty well. And it's the biggest painting on my art wall, so that's pretty fun. So for the first part of this video, I didn't do much talking. I was watching the Call Her Daddy podcast with Sarah J. Maas. And then when I started recording the next day, I decided to go ahead and talk and paint at the same time, which was a really fun experience. And I hope you guys enjoy that. So here that goes.
I have to say, I think the sky came out good. I still need to touch up the dark spots a little bit. It's not quite where I want it, but I was definitely overworking it. And that is no bueno. But I did a light blue aqua underpainting, and I did the same thing for the big painting, and I really like how it turned out. I don't think it really did much, but I just like the idea of an underpainting so much that I couldn't not do it. And technically, it's just blocked out of where the skyline was, but I still think it counts. We're just gonna say it counts. Recently, I've gotten into a lot more journaling, which I think I might do its own video on. I've been watching a lot of videos on journaling ecosystems, and I kind of already was doing it. I just feel like I'm so obsessed with my phone, and I really shouldn't be. I just feel like I should be doing something more productive with my time than just scrolling endlessly on the internet. So I've been trying to make the transition to watching longer content or longer forms of content. Normally I don't listen to podcasts, but Sarah J. Maas, she had a Call Her Daddy podcast, or she was on the Call Her Daddy podcast. And I listened to that last night while I was painting this, and I ended up crying so hard I had to stop, just because of the content of the podcast, because it was just, I had never seen her interview before, and I feel like it was a very personal interview, just with what they talked about. And so it's very understandable that I got upset, because it's also, I'm a big SJM girly. I've got the original ACOTAR trilogy, but the original covers in hardback. They're my most prized possession. And anyways, the whole point of me talking about that was to say, normally I would just not watch the podcast or interview, and I would just watch the clips on TikTok and eventually get a gist of what the interview was about, and then I would just stop there. But I really got tired of doing that. I feel like I got a lot out of listening to the podcast, and I can't wait for her next 2 books. ACOTAR is literally my favorite of SJM, but it's also because it was my first SJM. I don't know, I really relate to Feyre. I wonder why. But I also like Crescent City. I could not get into Throne of Glass. And hear me out. It's because by the time I get to, I think it's Queen of Shadows is the one that I stopped at. But like the book that I ended up stopping at was the book that everyone's like, oh, this is the book that really like reeled me back in. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I was listening to the audiobook version of it, but I was just not vibing with it, not vibing with the characters. And like, it was so long ago that I think I might restart it and see what happens. But I was a big fan of Crescent City. I feel like the last book in Crescent City, it wasn't as good as the first two, but I feel like it was just because of the time frame in which the book takes place is like 3 days or something crazy like that. There wasn't much character development or anything like that, and people had issues with that. But I do think it was a good book. I remember listening to it. I think I listened to it like when it first came out. I got it on Audible. I just remember loving it. It was definitely I had to put down my stuff so that I could actually listen to it kind of book. But that podcast was so good. Also, another thing that I've been watching recently, Harry Styles on Royal Court with Brittany Broski. That shit brought me so much joy. He looked so happy in that. Very parasocial of me, but he just... I think it was a good interview. He was so comfortable. And I mean, Brittany Broski is one hell of an interviewer. What I've started doing is I've started going to the library, my local library, and checking out one nonfiction book and one fiction book. And my last nonfiction book I wasn't a fan of. It was a teacher basically complaining about being a teacher, and I'm like, you're complaining about the job, but not in a not positive way, but like not in a way that makes me want to read it. Or like a constructive way. That's what I was looking for. It wasn't in a constructive way. And it was literally just her being like, oh, parents suck, students suck, I don't know why I was a teacher. And I'm like, you know what? That's not very encouraging. Because technically, that is what I want to do with the rest of my life. For those who don't know, I'm currently at Michigan State University studying to be a math major and eventually a math professor. And I just do the painting for fun. It's really just a relaxing thing I do on the weekends usually. And it's Friday, so, you know, it's Friday the 13th. Also, something different about this painting than my last painting that I did. I'm adding yellow. So I'm adding just like a touch of yellow, and I feel like it's making it have more variety in the blues. And you get some like warmth in the painting. Not saying that my last painting was bad, I'm just, you know, want to try something new. And sometimes the decisions you make like that will make or break the painting. But I think it'll be worth it. I mean, if anything, I'll just paint over this and delete the video. I mean, if you've made it this far, thanks. I like how I questioned that. So my last YouTube video was 9 months ago, and I've just been making short form content and shorts and stuff since then. And I haven't really done another long form video because it's so nerve-wracking to think about someone sitting down to watch me paint or do anything for however long that video was. Now, I did get some positive reviews, you know, I got some positive feedback from that video. I think it's really good. I'll pop it up on the screen if I figure out how to do that. See, my favorite part of painting is the color mixing. And I like just trying to do Ooh, I like that. Look at that texture. Now, this is probably closer to done. Ooh, look at that green. Well, it's technically blue, but it looks kind of aqua-y. Let's add a little bit darker. And then we're gonna add just the tiniest bit of water to make it glide onto the canvas. And test it. Ooh, I love that color. It's so pretty. It just gives this like slight green to the water. I love it. I kind of want to do this color since I have it, but lighter. Look at that. It's so pretty. I don't know, does that show up well? Yeah. Then we're just gonna, I like mixing the palette or mixing the colors on the canvas where it's like not quite dry and it picks up some of the paint that's left behind. See, that's why I really want to get into oil painting, but I feel like I need to just pick a medium and stick with it, which is not the fun answer, because I do enjoy, well, there's just so many different ways that I like to make art, and I don't want to limit myself by being like, oh, I'm only an acrylic painter. But at the same time, I have so much fun with acrylics. But it's also like, when I paint with acrylics, I gotta be in the mood for it, otherwise I just bleh on the canvas, you know?
So this is not exactly what I was going for, but here we are.
I'm having so much fun.
And that's the point.
I do want to cover up most of the canvas though, because I feel like we're still a little too patchy here. So let's go ahead and mix up some more color. Layers, that's the key to this painting. Lots of layers. Although at some point you get like overworked with it, but like I definitely haven't hit that point yet, considering you can still see most of the canvas. A little bit, okay? You know, I kind of want to do like questions so that I'm not just yapping, but I feel like the yapping is kind of fun. Oh, I just love this like greeny aqua blue, this color. I love it. It's just making the painting pop. See, I don't like this area. I need to do something with that. But I am liking how this area is turning out, which is a majority of the painting. Bottom quarter. So I think that's pretty solid. But I know it's not done yet. So I just need to be patient. If there is such a thing as patience. Blue is my favorite color. So like, this painting is right up my alley. That's why I'm doing it. I wanted my own. But I'm going to make it mine. And I'm gonna put some varnish on it. It's gonna be so pretty. Oh, that's looking good. See, much better. Decisions. I'm tired of making decisions. Ooh, that's like a sea foam. I don't think it's gonna match very well, but I kind of want to add it nonetheless. Well, let me just add a little bit of this just to darken it up, just a tad. Ooh, okay, yep, there it is. There it is. There she was. Oh, but it looks so good. help it. I just gotta keep going. Okay, now let's get this color, but have a darker version so that I can have that kind of texture on top. Yep, that's what I wanted. Okay, the water's almost done. I don't want to leave it where it's at because there's still goodness coming through. I feel like part of the problem is that I'm not putting enough water on my brush. I don't know, I just like painting without it, I guess. Maybe I should have painted it a solid color first. But I'm about to start doing the darks again. Okay, now I think I'm gonna let it dry and come back. Or I could blow dry it. I think I'm gonna blow dry it. Cover your ears! I do need to touch up the sky still. Like, I want to darken this area because I don't like it. So I'm currently taking a color and design class at MSU, and it's going pretty well. But one of the things my professor said is instead of taking this color and adding white to it to get it to lighten, to take the white with a little bit on your brush and just have it to the side. Because it's easier to go darker than lighter. But that way you use less white paint. And I've already gone through a whole tube. I've officially finished my first tube of paint, which was super exciting. It was white, of course, but my phthalo blue is not far behind. And I think this painting might do it. Can't wait. Bodwee. I don't like how there's like a curve right here. Like, I want it to go more like this. Because I want it to be like light with dark outsides. So I guess I need to bump this up over here with a lighter color. Almost there. I can feel it in my bones. Because we're about to get to the overwork stage. We're not quite there yet, I don't think. But we're getting close. I'm gonna take this. I'm limiting my color palette again. But that's just because I don't want to put more paint on, especially since I'm about to take it off. Cleaning brush, and then I'm going to go in with a darker blue and do kind of that thing, but with maybe that color. I feel like I haven't been giving it much attention to this side as I did the other side. But this is going to be my last layer, so too bad. Well, I think I finished the water. Let me just dip it. Just to push it back a little. Oh, okay, yeah. That's looking good. Baby gentle. I cracked myself up. It's official. My white paint is out. started my palette, but my goal right now is to level this out with darker colors and then bring this up to where it's more like that. This side I think is good, but I want this to match about right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that there. Okay. Well, since I ran out of things to say last time, I decided to look up a list of questions for artists. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna answer all of them, but I feel like it could be pretty fun. So the first one, how did you first get started making art? So I started making art, I mean, as a kid, like everyone, but for me, I really committed to like practicing art almost every day about the time that I moved to Michigan. So 2022 in April-ish, I started a new sketchbook, and I still haven't finished that sketchbook. I haven't finished a single sketchbook, but I have been practicing, and I've probably got like, I don't know. Hi, Evie. What's up? But I've probably got 5 sketchbooks that I'm working on right now, so no wonder I haven't finished one. But the reason I started was just because I've always found art fascinating and I've always wanted to do it, and I just always thought that I would put it off and never actually learn how to do it myself. But I watch a lot of videos on the internet, of course, like all artists do, or modern artists anyways. And then around 2023 I started posting on social media with my art, which was nerve-wracking at first, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. I'm less nervous to do it, and it doesn't feel so forced or so, I don't know, unnatural, I guess. But who was a major influence on me actually starting was Scott Sava, I think is his name, or Sava Art. Give me 1 second. I bought his book. And I've been following him for years, but he really inspired me to just do it, you know? Stop putting it off. And I'm really glad that I did finally start making art, because it has brought me so much joy and gotten me through some hard times. And I've got little paintings to remember those times by. And I just really like that. Ooh, the next question is, what is your earliest memory of drawing or painting? So when I was in about 4th grade, I think, there was a project, a school project, where you made like a bumper sticker for a book. And I remember the summer after that project, I made my own just cause, and I have no idea what happened to it, and I don't have a picture of it or anything. It's lost to the ether, I guess. But it was a bumper sticker that I made for a book. I forget what the book was, but it was about spy kid, like a kid that was a spy. I know that. And I vaguely remember him having braces. And the main character was a guy that was like my age at the time. But yeah, that was probably the earliest memory I have of making art. Well, actually, sometime in elementary school, I was at my grandmother's house, my great-grandmother's house, and she asked me to draw her. I remember that as well. But those are like my earliest memories of making art. The question was, why do you create this specific type of art? Personally, my art, I just like bringing pretty things into the world. This piece in particular was a request from my aunt and uncle. I probably, looking through their pictures for this trip, that we created like a photo album shared on iPhone. And honestly, this is probably the picture that I would have picked to paint anyways, just because I love the blue in the sky. And now this painting does not really look like the reference picture at all. It's literally, I'm just going off of vibes. I go where the whimsy takes me, is what my answer to that question will actually be. Is that I just follow my heart and my brush, and I make it what I want it to be. And like, as far as art styles or whatever, I tend to go on the realism side, except for my paintings. Paintings I do more like impressionistic stuff with. Okay, now I feel like I put too many midtones in this sky. I need to lighten it up again. At the same time, I want to make the darkers dark and the lighters light. You know, something that I do want to talk about, thinking of why I create the specific art I do, I pretty much just follow my gut about what I want to paint or draw, and wherever that takes me is where it takes me. But what I was gonna say is, like, a lot of people have said, like, oh, I could never do that, or I can barely draw a stick figure. You know, what you always hear when people ask or talk about art. But honestly, I'm a math major too, and more people say they can't do math than can't do art. So, I don't know, do with that what you will. But it's also one of those things that, like, I just hear all the time in both aspects, or both of my special interests. So it's, I don't know. I think it's funny more than anything. When it comes to making art and like posting it online, the only reason that I really have been as consistent as I am is because of my brother. He's always telling me to post it. And like, I used to draw every day. I don't anymore, and I need to get back into it. But he definitely encourages me to post art and make content, which now that I've been doing it for a little bit, I really enjoy it. It's the whole process, and it adds to the process, in my opinion. Well, because also my thing with art is, like, I will spend hours upon hours on this piece, and the average person is gonna look at it for maybe 5 seconds and just be like, oh, that's pretty. But if you make a video out of it, there's more entertainment in it, and then they're along for the ride with the process, and I really like that. What is your favorite medium and why? Well, my favorite medium right now is this, just acrylic paint. Most of my stuff is acrylic paint, actually, like my big stuff. I really want to get into oil painting. That's a medium that I've always wanted to try, but only professional artists or whatever. Not saying you can't be a professional artist and use acrylic paint. It's just like most of the classic pieces have been done with. I just want to try it out and see what happens, because I do like acrylic paint and I think I make decent art with it. I mean, we'll see how this turns out. At the same time, I don't know, I like bouncing between mediums. Although, to be fair, my favorite markers are acrylic markers. And I have so much fun with them when I use them, but it just takes me so long. But the stuff, my favorite sketchbook pages have been with acrylic marker, and I really need to just buckle down and use it. And what I really want to do is get like a skin tone set of acrylic markers, because I love drawing portraits, and that's really what inspired me. I would love to do it more. It's just, I keep putting it off. And it's one of those things where I just need to sit down and do it. And I need to just set aside time and be okay with making bad art. Like, that's part of being an artist, is making bad art and being okay with making bad art. Like this, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it definitely doesn't look like the reference picture, which I'm not mad at. But that used to be a big thing for me, is it would stop me from creating because I would always try to make it look like the reference picture, and a lot of times it wouldn't. And I would just get so frustrated that I would stop. And I don't know when it happened or exactly how, but I started recently saying, well, making bad art is okay. It's probably Scott's fault. I'm gonna blame Scott, because I'm reading his book about becoming an artist. I still haven't finished it, but it's mostly because I don't want to finish it, in the sense of I don't want it to be over. And so I just keep putting off finishing it. But I really need to sit down and read the rest of it. There's this perfectionism that comes with making art for me. And I feel like in recent drawings and paintings, I've kind of just accepted that it's not going to be perfect, and it's going to have its flaws, and it's going to, parts of it I'm not going to like. And I've just got to accept that and create it for the sake of creating it. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with this painting. Because the sky, oh, it's looking good. It's looking good. But I need to go back to it and stop messing with the water. Because I feel like it's fun to watch colors be mixed. Which, honestly, I didn't realize was something that I knew as well as I did. And then with my color and design class, we did some color swatches, which I will probably bust out in a minute just to show you. I have been learning so much from this class. And having said that, that is something that I've gotten better at, is color theory, I guess. I'm still convinced I know nothing when it comes to color theory, but that's just me being cynical. You know more than you think. I think it's because when I started painting, I would start with tutorials, and said tutorials would tell you which colors to mix. Which, like, duh, that's like the point of a tutorial. But it's also like watching other people make art and watching their processes, I feel like has made me a better artist, which is why I don't beat myself up as much as I have been for watching like TikToks and stuff, because most of my algorithm these days is artists and like fan art and that kind of thing. Now there is the like dumb nonsense memes, but you know, who in this day and age does not consume those? That's my question. And who's lying about it? Because one of these other questions is, how do you know when a piece is finished? And honestly, For me, it's normally that I run out of time. Or I get so fed up that I'm like, I have to put this down and I'm not touching it ever again. And, you know, don't highly recommend, but it does make it interesting, I guess. I don't know, part of me just, I rush through pieces a lot of the time, and I don't let myself just have fun with it, because I feel like I'm always on a deadline with like everything, which I guess that's part of being in college, is that like everything feels like it's on a deadline, because it is, and that's part of it, is everything has to be on time, and just one of them things, I guess. There are some pieces that I have not been able to finish. Specifically this one drawing that I did during Inktober, and it's the reason I stopped doing Inktober, is because I didn't want to ink the sketch because I was so proud of it and I thought it was like the best thing I'd ever drawn, and I didn't want to mess it up by inking it. But I feel like it would have been fine if I inked it, and I probably should have. I might do it later, but it's just one of them things. Just one of them things. The next question, how do you structure your day and balance studio time with other commitments? I don't. I need to be better about it. Right now I should be working on an exam practice thing for my programming class, but I'm not. It's one of those things where when I want to paint, I'm gonna paint. No matter what else. No matter the consequences. But my studio is also my study. I think it's a pretty solid setup. It's definitely better than my last setup, and that was just having it in my bedroom. And luckily my roommate is kind enough to let me use the third bedroom that we have for a studio, essentially. How has your art style changed over time? It's gotten better. I don't know. I found a style. Instead of just copying other artists, I've like come into my own, I guess. And I've started experimenting more, which I think has done wonders for said art style. Because I used to, again, just try and copy the references. And it didn't really do anything for me. And so now, instead of being like, oh, it's got to be perfect, it's back to the perfect thing. No art is perfect. It's impossible. You might create one perfect art piece in your lifetime. My style, definitely more painterly than anything. But that's just because I've been focused on painting. I think there's also a confidence that comes with the style change. Is like, I'm more confident that I can actually complete projects. So then I just don't get so frustrated with myself while I'm creating. Let's get back to the water. I'm vibing at this point. I really like dry brushing. And I like being able to see paint strokes. I just feel like it gives more life. What can I say? I love the Impressionists. I'm not really into abstract art. It's fun to make sometimes, but overall, I like to have aspects of both. Like Talia Stanton, I think is her name. But she actually influenced me a lot with her Winged Woman paintings. And I've been following her for a while too. I feel like I've lost the plot of this painting, I mean. And this video. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's one of them things. Do little things. Make a little room. Get down tonight. Get down tonight. You know, part of it's just having fun. It is what it is. I'm having a great time. This is my extracurricular. I'm just vibing. while painting water. Tell me, is there anything more Pisces than that? Probably not. Unless you were swimming in the ocean with fish. Or with dolphins. I've always wanted to do that. I don't think I'll ever get the chance, but, you know, one day. Maybe. Decisions. I'm about to get to a point where I'm overworking it, though. I said that like 30 minutes ago. Put your brush down, Deborah. Put it down. It's not done yet. How do you know when it's done? I'll know. It's not yet. Okay, I've definitely overworked it at this point. Keeps going. Okay, next question. What is your dream project? I really want to do a mural. I don't know where or of what, but I've been trying to talk my mom into letting me do a mural in my basement. I don't know what it would include, if it would include anything, or even get done. Dang! 2 hours later, and I'm still not done. Yeah, I've always wanted to do a mural. I don't think I'll ever get the chance to do one, though. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world if I don't get to do it, but it would be really fun. Like, just to do a side of a building or something.
And that was pretty much the last I filmed of this video. I varnished it and did the gold trim a couple weeks later and didn't film that because I wasn't sure if I was going to post this. But if you're seeing it, like I said before, I posted it. But if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. Maybe leave a comment if you're willing. I love some feedback. And last but certainly not least, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of my content. Thanks for watching.